I can look at the back and I can see that that line's got to join up to there, and this makes this bit super easy. Cool. Right, Isaac, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, are you?
Cool, man. Right, so what is it we're doing today? What do you want to do?
Well, I've been growing my hair out for a few weeks, just playing about with it.
Yeah?
I don't really know exactly what style, but I'm open to something new. I still quite like this skin fadey look on the side, but open to whatever on the top, really.
All right, okay. Well, you've got quite a nice length on the top now.
Yeah.
So I reckon we can start bringing this back. Bringing it back, add a load of texture into it. I think where you were just sticking with the low sort of fade, low one fade. So if we bring it up a little bit, turn it to a skin fade, do a drop fade, maintain the weight through here.
Yeah.
Connect it all in through, bang a load of texture in it. I'll show you how to do that at home, because if you don't know how to do it, it's pretty pointless moving it for you.
That'd be handy.
Cool, man. All right, so let's get to it.
Sweet, yeah, nice one.
Right, so first thing we're doing, I'm going to separate the hair from its growth pattern. So from the crown forwards, any hair that wants to sit down, I'm going to push that hair down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a foundation in first. I'm going to follow that round, and I'm going to build the haircut off that. Right, so as this is a skin fade, I'm going to use my knuckle on the skin. Now that's my length. I'm going to follow that all the way around. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a centre profile part in. Don't worry, mate, you're going to get a set of curtains.
Yeah, it looks good like that.
It does, doesn't it? So take an off-centre line either side, comb everything else out of the way.
That's like the more way.
It's great, isn't it? Right, I'm going to start at the back. That's my foundation line there. I'm going to follow that up. Follow this round. Pull each hair up straight from the head. Now here, you get to decide whether you're going to cut this completely straight, or you're going to put an angle on it. So I'm just looking at the hair at the front. It's got a nice length there, so I'm going to try and angle this like that. There's my last cut. So we go forwards for shape, then we're going to go backwards for precision. Right. How about a little mohawk?
Yeah, perfect. That'll do me. See you later.
All right, now that's my guide from the top. So you had your guide on the side, which I brought over the top. Now I've got my guide for the top. I'm going to take little sections. Here's my guide. I'm going to point cut. I think whenever you're cutting the top, always point cut. Stops the hair looking flat. It saves you over texturizing the hair later on. And when you're doing this, you only want to take sort of comb width sections. Any more than that, you're going to be over directing the hair, and you're going to end up with what we call in the UK knuckle bumps. Don't know what they call them in the rest of the world, but it's little inconsistencies. Take a section, pick up half of the last section. So then I've got the guide from there, and I push this out of the way. I've got the guide behind it as well. Easy as that. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take triangular sections from the crown to the recession point, and I'm just going to connect what I've just done. There shouldn't be too much connections to do because I put a nice foundation in. So do one, do the other. The reason we do that, we go from the crown to there, because the hair that I've just pushed down wants to come down anyway, so it makes sense to connect that hair. So what I'm going to do, get this out of the way, comb up, pick it up, not sticking out, cut that. So what sort of hair products are you using at home, Isaac?
Before last time I had a haircut with you, I was just using hairspray, really, just to get some sort of shape. But then you used the powder and the clay, I think, last time. So I went out and bought some powder and clay, and I can't use it to save my life. I've washed it out all 4 times.
All right, I'll show you how to use it. Just slicing the hair one way. Right, so I'm going the hair forward, just texturize it with my texturizer now.
I've never seen one of them.
It's basically a straight razor with teeth on it. It's a great way of removing little bits of weight without taking out any bulk. And you'll see it more when the hair's dried.
Yeah.
It allows the hair to sort of come together easier rather than it all just being all flat. Right, so on my clipper, I've got a number 3 guard. I'm just going to start coming up into my foundation area. This is just going to start connecting the sides into the top. And I'm just coming up square and just knocking out a little bit of bulk up here. So 2 open, just come up into the foundation. We're not going into the top of the hair now, we are just starting to create the blend from the sides into the top. Guard off, clipper closed, well, lever closed. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to knock in a 0 line. So what we're going to do here, where before we used to have a low fade, we're going to bring it up a bit higher. But we're going to do a drop fade, so we drop it down here. It's maintained a nice bit of weight here, so when we do the line up, it just looks more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So let's bang this in. I always draw it in first with the corner of my blade. Drop it into the back. Clear the bulk. The reason I clear the bulk now is so I can turn into the mirror and I can look in the mirror and I can match up exactly what I've done. So I know by looking in the mirror, it's about eye level, at this angle, I can do exactly the same as what I've just done. Over there, yeah. And then I can look at the back and I can see that that line's got to join up to there, and this makes this bit super easy. Cool. So do you want to take this right down to skin, or you want a bit of stuff left on?
I usually do it to skin right at the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Alright, sound. So I'll bring it up about halfway this time. Not halfway up here, I don't want it, like halfway from where we used to be. Before we come in with a shaver, bring a little detailer in. And just take this stubble as short as we can get it. Makes light work for the shaver. I don't want to bring this, trick is not to bring your detailer all the way up to your 0 line. If you leave a little area of 0 and then detailer, it's just an extra step of transition. So clear out all this. Right, so what I'm doing here in my shaver, I'm just using a circular motion. With these sort of shavers, if you just come up straight and leave it there, straight, leave it there, you can put a real harsh line in. So I find if I use a circular motion just below where my detailer went in, it doesn't put a line in, creates a nice blend between the two. So half guard on my clipper, start it fully closed. Now when I fade, a little technique I've picked up, rather than going all the way around the head, I'll just do a section. I'll do a section, make sure it's clean, move on to the next section. That way there's not too much for me to sort of try and figure out at once. Just create myself a nice even section here with my 0.5 guard. Take that off. And then I'm going to go no guard, halfway open. Just up to the line, use my corners where I need to. Quarter open, fully closed, and just knock out that last little bit. Same as we just did, put my 1 guard on, lever closed, get ourselves another section. So half guard back on, but this time the half guard is half open. Quarter open. Fully closed, just knock out that bottom bit. One guard back on, leave it open. This can pretty much give me a 1.5 again. So just meet what I did, and then I'm going to blend down now. Nice. Right, I'm going to move on to my section. My next section, repeat the process. I will come back, once I've done it all, I'll come back through and I'll detail the fade. So these steps are exactly the same, but as you do it, you're going to blend into your previous section. 0.5, 0.25, which is no guard, halfway open. One guard closed, and again, all these sections are just appropriately sized. As I come around the back of the head and I've dropped it a bit, I've got more space to work with. So my section between each guard is going to be bigger than it was at the front because I've got more space to work with. And if there's a little area that pops up, little problems that pop up along the way, it's a process of elimination. So I've gone down to my half guard and still a little bit of weight here. So I'm going to go down to my half guard, well, my zero guard that's open, which gives me a half. Let's see if that takes it out. Not quite. So I'm going to close it 1/4. So now I can hear it cutting. And let's just tuck that out. The thing you'll find is on the back of the head, it's always denser. So you're always going to have little problems that pop up. Never going to be as easy to fade as it is on the top. And then we just fade down. So 1.5 guard. Bring this up. Now as the hair's thicker on the back, I'm going to have to sort of fade back down as I come down, just because it's more weighty. So it's just a case of putting your half guard back on. Your half guard's good for polishing a fade if you like. As long as you don't cut into the hair with it, you can just polish anything out with it. A little bit of lever play, open it, close it. And you're just working through, taking out what you need to. It's kind of like paint by numbers. If you see something that's darker like here, although technically it's the same length, it's darker, so you need to address it. So just come in, a little bit at a time, a little bit around here. Create a nice blend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dry his hair first, give my eyes a rest, and come back to detail the fade. I always find if I look at a fade for too long, I kind of miss stuff. I need to sort of rest my eyes and come back to it. Alright, so we've got Beard Brand's Tea Tree Sea Salt Spray. I'm going to apply a little bit to your hair. Not only does it smell amazing, but it's a great sort of base product. You dry it in, just has a very nice little light hold. Very nice smell.
Smells right, eh?
Alright, so this is what I'm going to do with your hair now. A little bit of sea salt spray, a little bit of clay. Yeah?
Yeah. This is the stuff I was struggling with.
Yeah, so emulsify it in your hands.
Yeah.
Get it all through your hair. And this is what a lot of people do. They'll put product in the hair, do this and go, done. And think,
Yeah.
actually that looks terrible.
So you put the wax in before the hair?
Yeah, put the wax in, massage it all through.
That's where I was going wrong.
Then you blow dry it in. Alright. So you blow dry it in, get the shape that you want, dry the hair off. You don't need to rush the blow drying, as long as it takes. Right, once you've built a shape that you want with it, see your hair's going back lovely now. Right, hit it with the cold air. The easiest thing to do is just turn the heat straight off and go back in. That's just going to soothe the hair, help set it in the direction that you've made it go, and help just dry that product in further. So it's not quite done with the styling now. So know what you want to do. You know, you're saying, look, you're struggling with the powder. Mm-hmm. So now you refine it. So you put the shape in, you soothe the hair. There's a good base in there with the sea salt and the matte stuff. Right, so now we're going to refine it. So I'm going to do, I'm going to spray a little bit of powder on your hair.
Now you got dandruff.
Yeah. So put a tiny little bit of product back on your hands, all right? And now you're just gonna ruffle this through. All right, so now haircut's starting to get to where we want. It's not quite where I want it to be. I want it a little bit of separation through it just to make it a little bit more unique. So what I'm gonna do, use my pompadour comb. So crisscross with the wide tooth comb. Crisscross your hair from left to right, going from one side all the way to the other. And where we texturise the hair, that just allows the hair to sort of come together in nice little disconnected areas. I'll just show you the back here, what we're working with. It's looking nice. I'm still not quite finished yet. So what I'm going to do, come in with my hairdryer, cold air, nothing too fast. This just soothes the hair again. Where we just applied more products, it just helps set it. I'm going to go one step further and just fine tune some little bits where I can separate. A tiny little bit of hairspray.
So this is really you going now.
Yeah. And any little strays that pop up, find the softest brush you can and just add them to the hair. So give my eyes a rest. I can now look back at the fade and I can see any little areas that in my eyes need to just be refined a little bit. Because of the techniques that I use to actually create the haircut, I don't need to do too much scissor over combing. I'm not trying to remove bulk hair, I'm just fine tuning it. See here, it just gets a little bit darker than I'd like there. Right, yeah, I'm not pushing the hair back, just bringing it back to where it's at its strongest. Alright, so just going to fade your beard back in. So it's exactly the same, it's just a reverse fade. So find a point which you can line up on both sides, so I'm going to go with the bottom of the ear. Put a 0.5 section in. And just close it, 0.25. And all the way down to 0. This beard's nice and short, so a little trick with a clipper, if you open it up without a guard on, that's a 0.5. If you stand it up, it gives you the length of a 1. So I know if I start just below here, and just do, I think this technique's called scraping, I'm not entirely sure. Cool, all right, razor work.
That looks awesome.
There you go, bro.
I like that. Texture of the back looks so cool.
That's so easy to do, like I say, just crisscross with your wide tooth comb.
I need to get one of them.
Yeah, and it does it all the way across the top of the head as well.
Yeah.
Nice and
I
easy.
like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good, man. I'm glad we grew it out for it. It's looking good, man.
Yeah, it was worth doing, wasn't it?
Wicked.
Yeah.
Don't mind me asking, where'd you get that scarf?
Cool story, man. Cool story. Exciting.
Yeah, a dog. No, I had an operation. No, 2 operations about 2 years ago. They thought I had lymphoma. So because I had a lump in my neck, so I had loads of tests on that, and they just took it out.
Oh well. Is that all cleared up now then?
I've got, I think, one more sort of consultation and test in November, but then after that should be all good. So I've not had any.
What was it then?
They don't know. They had a lot of people look at it. They thought it could have been lymphoma. Obviously meaning the lump would have been cancerous, but I mean they had a lot of experts look at it. They really don't know. Yeah, they found. Yeah,
wow, crazy, man.
Well,
big old lump
hopefully
in
all
the
gets
side.
out, whatever it is.
Yeah, cheers.
Whoever knew sweat could smell so good? I did, because I've been using Beard Brand's new deodorant, Grab it at beardbrand.com.